School of Management Studies IGNOU presents an audiobook on the course MMPC-007 Business Communication for MBA program. Presenting Block 3 Written Communication at Work, Unit 9 Basics of Written Business Communication, Part 2. In Part 1, we have discussed Introduction, Need for Written Communication, and Features of Written Communication. In Part 2, we will discuss Process of Writing and Summary. Let's listen to Part 2.
Process of writing. Writing is a complex process which involves thinking and composing texts. When we write, we have ideas, and these ideas come to us as words or phrases. These words or phrases are then logically placed in sentences, which are then combined to form paragraphs. Ultimately, paragraphs are put together to form a coherent text. Though the process of creating a text may vary from person to person and text type to text type, there are a few basic steps that can help us demystify this process. Writers, therefore, plan and then revise their plan, draft, then revise their drafts, write, and then rewrite. This is known as the process approach to writing, and it is important to follow such an approach. There are different steps involved in the process of writing. These are explained in detail below. Step 1. Understanding your reader. Who is it for? Before one begins the process of writing, it is important to identify the reader. If the reader is your boss, or are you writing a project proposal for venture capitalists? Either way, knowing the reader is the first step in the writing process. If we closely examine our writing activities, we will see that we write differently based on who the reader is and what genre of writing we are attempting. This can be a formal as well as informal form of communication. Once you identify the reader, the next step is to develop a profile of the reader. Are you writing for a digital audience? If yes, you may have to consider keeping the length of your text short. Is your reader a potential employer? If yes, you may have to use a formal tone when you write. Now the question arises as to how one can create a reader's profile. Let us learn how to create a reader's profile. Creating a reader's profile. The following list of questions can help you create a reader's profile. First, who is my reader? Am I addressing one person or am I addressing a diverse group of individuals? Second, are they familiar with what I say? If not, then what should I tell them so that they follow what I write? What do they already know? Third, why should they be interested in what I write? Fourth, what is the best way to communicate? Fifth, should I use a particular structure, tone, or style when I communicate? What genre should I use? Sixth, what will they gain after reading? Step 2. Finding the purpose. What is your intent? Now that you know your audience, it is time to identify the purpose behind your writing exercise. You need to do that to ensure the following. First, your audience will understand what you are writing about and why it is important to you and to them. Second, you will understand why you, your superiors, and your organization needs to know about the subject. Third, you will be able to identify and gather the information that is most relevant to your readers and your goals. Step 3. Starting the writing process. Sometimes, when we sit down to write, we may feel the need to discuss everything under the sun about the topic that we choose. Or we may get stuck and cannot write at all. In such situations, it is always good to just start writing. Ideas, if you have noticed, gain coherence and clarity when you put them down on paper. Free writing is therefore a good strategy to develop your ideas. Once you have enough ideas on paper, you can then choose what you want for the subject. Step 4. Developing ideas. How to research. Conducting research is a crucial component of the writing process. Here are a few steps that can help you with conducting your research. First, Internet research. At the brainstorming stage, you will have several ideas in mind for your proposed topic. It might be a good idea to capture them in your mind map, and this might make it easier to narrow the scope of your topic as you think along. You can start by doing basic internet research. At this stage, you can note down key points such as definitions, history, and recent developments so that you have a fair understanding of the topic. Second, identifying credible sources. Now that you have an overview about your topic, it is important to identify reliable information. You must find reliable sources to support the information that you present in your writing. To find reliable sources, you must check the following. First, who is the writer? Are they qualified to write about this topic? Second, where is the information from? Is the website a reliable source? Third, does the information agree with what other sources have also said? Fourth, can the information be verified? Third, library research. A few decades back, libraries were the primary source of information. While the internet has helped us find information at record speed, it can also not have the right answers for some of our queries. In such contexts, you can visit a library and find credible vetted resources that can help you with your research. Fourth, organize and label your research. Research can thoroughly overwhelm you if you do not organize the information that you have. When you collect information through internet or library research, organize them into folders and label them correctly. If you are reading articles on your browser, it would be good to bookmark the link so that you can return to them whenever you need. There are also online tools like Pocket that will help you save links online. Step 5. Writing a plan. After the free writing that you do, it is important to write an outline. This may be in points, and remember, these points will be changed if required. In fact, your plan must be dynamic and flexible. You can also use mind maps to understand your topic better. Let us discuss how to create mind maps. Mind maps. Sometimes visualizing what you have in mind can help you understand your ideas better. Visual tools like mind maps can be used to capture your initial ideas. Created around a single theme or concept, they can also be used to understand relationships between different sub-themes or ideas, if any. Creating a mind map. Mind maps can be created using the combination of color coding, short text, doodles, short phrases, division of knowledge or information, etc., to make it an effective and active tool of communication. Mind maps can be made with the help of e-tools which are available on the internet. These can be used to explain the ideas effectively. Asking questions. Other than mind maps, we can also consider asking questions about the concept or theme. For example, if you wish to write to your boss about the improvement and relaunch of a product that your company had designed, you could ask yourself the following questions. First, what is the product? Second, what were the customer complaints and why? Third, what were the good points of the product? Why? Fourth, what are the improvements suggested by the research team? Fifth, how soon can the changes be made? Sixth, how should we advertise the improvements? Sixth, how should we advertise the improvements? Seventh, when should the launch be held? If you answer the questions given above, it will help you understand the process of relaunching the product better. This understanding can then help you structure your writing. In a similar manner, you can ask yourself a set of probing questions so that they provide you with enough ideas. The questions given above are some examples that you could use when you brainstorm. You could use them or use your own questions to help you with your writing process. Step 7. Structuring. How to outline. An outline prepares the skeleton structure of your writing. Since you have brainstormed and researched on your topic, you have a vast knowledge of information in hand. Therefore, it is good to create an outline that can help you organize the information logically. Typically, most business writings have a structure where the information is broadly categorized into introduction, body, and conclusion. Introduction, as the name suggests, introduces the concept or theme to the reader and tells the reader what to expect. It usually has an interesting hook that captures the interest of the reader, followed by a quick overview of the topic. The body is the spine of your writing. It is in this section that you present your arguments, evidence, or ideas to the reader. Finally, the conclusion sums up the writing and gives the reader an understanding about your intent and purpose. Step 8. Putting it on paper. How to write. So far, we have discussed planning methods and strategies that could help with the writing process. But how do we start writing? This is an interesting question because preparations and plans do not translate to writing. To write, we must sit at a desk and write to meet our deadline. This means that we must push our brains to construct coherent sentences, paragraphs, and texts when we write. Many of us may feel anxious about writing. We commit to or are given deadlines but fail to meet them due to procrastination or lack of prioritization. We may also think that what we write is not good enough. In such contexts, the following writing tips can be useful. First, free writing. We may think that we need to churn good sentences as soon as we start writing. This need for perfection can prevent us from actual writing and make us feel anxious. In the first stage of writing, your task is to put information on paper. Take the plunge and think freely. Forget about errors and typos when you write. Your task at this stage is to write and not edit. Second, concentrate. Our attention span has reduced considerably with the internet. We are constantly distracted by text alerts and notifications that we find it hard to focus. Writing demands focus and concentration. So cut out all distractions when you sit down to write. Let your mind only be in contact with your writing. Third, make writing a habit. As people with responsibilities, we juggle several tasks at the same time. Writing takes a back seat when we prioritize other work which we find easier to do. To avoid this, it is good to set aside a designated space and time for your writing. If you have some free time in the morning or at night, consider blocking this time for your writing. Fourth, time yourself. Set a timer for 10 minutes and write without taking a break. At the end of 10 minutes, take a 5-minute break. This will train your mind to maintain constant contact with your writing and prevent you from feeling overwhelmed with the writing process. Fifth, talk to someone. Writing often makes us feel insecure and lonely. The fact that you have no one around to read what you write can prevent you from actively working on your writing. To avoid this, speak to a friend or family member or colleague who could give you feedback. These insights could be incorporated into your writing. Step 9. Reworking the draft. How to revise. The act of writing is incomplete without the act of reading and revising. To write is to also read and then rewrite what we write. Usually, what you write in your first draft may be messy. It could be a tangled bunch of ideas and half-formed thoughts you communicated on paper at one go. This means that you must return to your draft and clean the copy before it goes to the reader. Revising is thus an opportunity to critically examine your writing. When you revise, you can rethink and change what you write. You can reorganize for clarity and remove incoherent ideas. Basically, good writing emerges from multiple rounds of revision. So finding time to revise and rewrite is a must. Take some time away from your draft before you begin reworking on it. You can take few days or hours to distance yourself from your writing. When you revisit your draft after the brief break, read it like an editor, although revising is not editing. Do remember that revising is not the same as editing. When you revise, you can even change the whole draft and start afresh. Though editing is a part of the revision process, it does not involve large-scale changes to the draft. So when you sit to work on a writing project, do ensure that you have set enough and more time for revisions. Step 10. Integrating feedback. How to collaborate. Most people believe that writing is a personal project. While this may be true to some extent, good writing emerges from collaboration and feedback. Even after the first round of revisions, you may still not know if your writing would work for a reader. To understand this, you could consider asking a friend or colleague to read your draft. Constructive feedback can do wonders to your draft. It will improve the reading experience of your draft and make you confident about your writing. Here are a few steps that will help you to receive feedback. First, find a trusted friend or peer who can give you constructive feedback. Ensure that they are kind and objective in their comments. Second, share the draft and a detailed note outlining the goals of your writing with your friend. The note will help them understand the purpose of your writing and help them communicate effective feedback. Third, keep an open mind. Feedback can be a mixed bag of tricks. It is possible that your friend may not like some part of your writing. If they say so, be polite and ask them why they did not find it up to the mark. Knowing their reason can help you revise your draft. Step 11. Polishing the draft. How to edit and proofread. Editing and proofreading are the final steps of the writing process. They make our writing effective and error-free. Though editing and proofreading are linked to each other, they are different in terms of their functions. Editing, for example, can be a part of the revising process. Since we are rereading the draft, we may edit for clarity as we make revisions. Proofreading, on the other hand, only engages with error correction. The following steps can help you with your editing process. First, read your writing aloud. When you read aloud, you are the reader of your writing. You give real-time feedback to your brain, and that can help with identifying problems faster. Second, find and fix common mistakes. There are several common mistakes that we make when we write. These can include punctuation errors or spelling mistakes. If you have noticed some of them in your previous writing, you can check for them when you edit. Third, check and remove repetitions. Remove repetitive words, phrases, and ideas when you read. Instead, use synonyms. Fourth, clarity. Look out for wordy, cliché, and empty sentences. See if you can combine sentences for clarity. Fifth, use active voice. Sentences like "the new software can be mastered easily in a couple of days" are awkward as compared to "you can easily master the new software in a couple of days." To avoid this, always give importance to the subject. Sixth, ensure uniformity in the use of tenses. Check if you have switched tenses or used the wrong tense. Seventh, check for subject-verb agreement errors. See if there are any errors in pronoun usage. The following steps can help you with your proofreading process. First, read one sentence at a time. Look closely from the beginning to the end. When reading the sentence, look out for missing words, spelling mistakes, and punctuation errors. Reading sentences one by one can help you spot errors faster since you are reading them in isolation. Second, read the paper aloud. When you read out, you will hear yourself speak and spot errors faster. You can also hear how your sentences sound to a listener or reader and make changes based on that. Third, consider proofreading in a different order rather than top to bottom. If you read the paper from bottom to top or in parts, you may catch typos and other spelling mistakes. Fourth, common punctuation errors such as use of commas and apostrophes can also be rectified during proofreading. Fifth, finally, to ensure that there are no mistakes, you can also consider sharing your writing with a friend and asking them to proofread. Since they are unfamiliar with the text, they can easily spot errors when they read. Summary. In this unit, we have learned the importance of writing as an important mode of communication. We looked at how writing helps us to organize our thoughts and helps us communicate effectively. At the workplace, good, clean, concise writing helps us in upward mobility in our careers. We also saw how writing helps us in creating meaningful texts of all types. Finally, it helps us to think and articulate our ideas and communicate them to the target audience. This unit also discussed the basic steps involved in the process of writing, which is important in present times as written communication, be it informal or formal, has become an integral part of the workplace.
You are listening to audiobook by School of Management Studies IGNOU for MBA program. Course code MMPC-007 Business Communication, Block 3, Unit 9, Part 2. Course Coordinator Professor Neeti Agrawal from School of Management Studies IGNOU. Voiceover by Santosh Bharati. Edited by Tarannum Jahan. Program assisted by Jagbandhu Jana. And program produced by Manoj Kumar Singh. This program was brought to you by Electronic Media Production Center of Indira Gandhi National Open University.